My name's Jason Creel and you're watching Lawn Care Life. In this video, I want to open your eyes to some of the difficulties of running a lawn care business. Stay tuned. Now let me start by saying I consider myself one of the biggest fans of the lawn care business overall. After moving to a new town, I had a chance to evaluate other business opportunities and I ended up starting another lawn care business. So I'm a big believer in the lawn care business. I constantly tell people about the pros of the lawn care business, and when I see people badmouth the lawn care industry, I try to shed light on that and say, you know what, just because it's not good for a certain person doesn't mean it's not a good business to be in, because it is. With all that being said, the lawn care business is not 100% glorious all the time. I want to talk to you about a few of the things that are a struggle in a lawn care business. So if you're looking to start a business, or maybe you're in a business, maybe you're in the first few years, or maybe you're a veteran of the industry, and you can vouch that there are some real challenges to being successful in the lawn care business. Number one, it can be very difficult your very first year in the business to gain customers. Maybe not even the first year, the first 2 years, maybe 3 years even. Usually not that long in my experience and what the people that I have observed. But for many of you, you can relate, or if you're looking to make that jump in the lawn care business, the first year can be a real challenge. Now, some of the reasons for that are obvious. I mean, you don't have an established business. You don't have existing customers who can refer new customers to you. You don't have a brand identity within the community. Nobody's heard of your business necessarily, so it might be hard to pick up the customers. And even if you give a quote to somebody and they start asking you how long you've been doing this, that sort of thing, you might not have a good answer if you're just starting out. So there's some real challenges when you start off in the lawn care business. But with that being said, what I find people that do, they either stay on the sidelines too long looking at getting into lawn business, overanalyzing it, thinking, if I get in it, here's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and they're trying to avoid all the pitfalls and the hurdles and the challenges. Or they just jump in without a plan at all and just kind of wing it on the go. And I don't think either one of those is right. I mean, obviously you want to have a plan, but if you're an over analytical type person and you're sitting there thinking, I'm going to wait till I have everything perfectly in place so that I can hit the ground and launch and not have any obstacles, I think that's a mistake for this reason. When you start a business, it's from the outside looking in, it's hard to know what the obstacles are. I mean, yeah, you can, research and plan and study and that sort of thing and have a game plan, but it's easier to adjust once you're in the game. To illustrate this, I had a friend of mine, a couple friends actually, they decided years ago they were gonna hike the Appalachian Trail, okay? Now, I think that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 miles. One of them made it halfway, the other one finished the whole thing. But regardless, what happened was they planned, they packed, they do everything right to get ready, do maybe a little bit of training, that sort of thing, and then they hit the trail. What happened? I mean, it hits you like a ton of bricks because you're not used to walking 20 miles a day. And so they're so sore. The backpack that started off as maybe 40-something pounds, within a short amount of time, they told me they had it down to, I think, 20 pounds or maybe even less. So much so that they even would take their toothbrush and cut it in half because, you know what, I can use only a half a handle and that'll save me that much weight that I have to carry on my back. They began to get rid of everything except the absolute necessities. Now, what does that have to do with anything? Well, they sat there and they planned and they planned and they planned, but they didn't know what was going to be facing them until they got in the game, and then they were able to adjust. If you're sitting on the sideline of the lawn care business, you can plan and observe other people, but when you jump out there and you say, okay, now I'm in the game, I've got this piece of equipment, I've got this many customers, I thought I was gonna, market my business this way, I thought my pricing was gonna look like this, but now that I'm in the game, I may have to make some adjustments to make this thing work. And it's so much easier when you're there in the game. Obstacle number 2 that you might face when you're in the lawn care business is finding good help to work with you. You know, managing employees is a whole nother aspect to the lawn care business that you might not have to deal with in the first year, but it's almost doubles the weight of what is on the business owner. Okay, I have people tell me all the time, and I've experienced myself, the strain that a bad employee puts on a business is really hard to put in words. And there's something to be said too, for a good employee, the actual benefit that provides to you in your business is huge too. So I remember talking to this guy, been in business for a long time, and he's talking about wanting to retire, and he said, you know what, I'm about tired. He basically described his business as a daycare, and he had a big business, lots of employees, but he said it basically managing the employees was the daycare part of it. You know, that I'm having to, you know, constantly listen to all their excuses, can't get them to show up, they're not working hard. It is a lot of problems involved with managing employees. Can you imagine you're running full speed ahead in the middle of the summer, and some of you can relate to this, and you have an employee not show up for a day, 2 days, 3 days, or maybe just quit altogether, not giving you any notice. Things like that happen where the employees let you down, and it really puts a heavy strain on you, the business owner. And I tell you, that's one of the things that I love being self-employed more than just about anybody I've ever met. But that's one of the things about it, is that you wear your business. I mean, you can't get away from your business. I mean, if I go on vacation, there's no way to get away from the business. It follows me wherever I go, okay? And then of course YouTube chases me around too. So I got 2 things chasing me around. If you count my kids, that'd make more than that. But there's no escaping it. You know, if you have a regular 8 to 5 job and you come home, maybe many people do that and they are able to leave their work at work and come home. And I'll say this, I think there's a sense in where, as a business owner, you have to set up proper boundaries so that you're not just engaged in your business 24/7. For me personally, I don't want to be engaging in business phone calls on Sunday. If I can have a day away from not thinking about lawn care, that would be a great thing for me, just to refresh my mind. Another thing that can be a real challenge in the lawn care business is honestly just the finances of it. If you set out and maybe you had a steady job with a steady income, or maybe you been in the lawn business, and you know what happens, it's like things were going well and then this happened. We had a mower breakdown, had to buy a new piece of equipment that was real expensive. Or, you know, thought I had a really good year. I felt like this is what happened to me a lot. Had a really good year, and then what happened? Come tax time, you had to give a lot of that back to the government, and I hadn't prepared as I should to give that back to the government. It can be a real strain on you as the business owner, strain on your family, but from the income. When your business is going great, it's great. When it's not going great and there's a financial stress, I tell you, it wears on the whole family, and that's another part of the lawn care business that can be real stressful for the owner. Another challenge of the lawn care business is when you're a small business and you have to wear multiple hats at the same time, it can be a real challenge. You know, for a while there, I was cutting grass and doing weed control and fertilization. That's just one example where you're wearing multiple hats, and it can be challenging, you know, to be able to get all those things done. But if you're a small business and you're doing the labor and you're doing the marketing and you're the office manager, you're doing the invoicing, the bookkeeping, the collections, it becomes stressful because you feel like there's always something to do. Okay, I got all my work done. Now I come home, I got to print off invoices to send out. I got to prepare for tomorrow. Maybe I got to do maintenance on the equipment. There's no, you know, and you might not be good at all. And that's the part that can also be stressful. You think, well, you know what? I'm good at the marketing, but I'm not that mechanical, so I'm not that good on working on my equipment. Or maybe I'm not that organized on doing the office side of things, you know, printing the invoices off, just keeping everything running from a business standpoint. And that's, you know, you're rarely going to find somebody who's good at every single thing that has to be done, and sometimes you're not in a position to be able to hire it all out. It can become a stressful thing for a lawn care business owner. I think another area that becomes stressful sometimes in the lawn business is, and let me just stop myself. I got to remind myself that this is actually a great business. I'm listening to myself talk. I'm thinking, man, this is a terrible business. I might need to find something else to do. No, you know, before you start going down that trail, it's a great business. I'm just simply trying to point out some of the challenges that are involved in the lawn care business. Another challenge is it's a competitive market. You know, you think, how many people do you see if you live in a decent sized town? How many people are pulling a lawnmower behind their truck or in some shape, fashion, or form of mowing grass? A whole lot of them. So it's a really competitive industry where you're going to have to really get out there to get after it. And it can be, like I said, back to the first point, it can be challenging that first year or two to get your share of the market. Now, there's plenty of customers in a lot of areas to go around, but it can take a while to be established. Another thing about the lawn care business can be challenging is just managing your time. You know, because it's not just 24/7 lawn care. Now, if you've got a family, you've got other responsibilities in life, maybe you've got some hobbies you want to, you know, spend time doing. It can become a real challenge, not once your business gets established. Even if you're going good financially and things like that, I feel like for me, as the business grows and gets busier and busier, it's not how you manage the business. That becomes stressful. It can be long days. But it becomes, how do you not neglect everything else that's important in life? Because the truth of the matter is, there's some weeks where, you know what, you might have to work 70 hours a week to get things done. There's seasons of life where you may need to dedicate more time to your family, and other seasons of life where you may need to dedicate more time to your work. Now, for lawn care, that season is actually called spring. That's when it gets really busy, phones ringing like crazy, at least for me. And so you run around a lot and you just have to work a lot. You may have to work on Saturdays. You may have to, like I said, work 60, 70 hours a week to get the work done. I've got other videos where I talk about the positive of the lawn care business. Overall, these negatives that I'm pointing out are simply realities that come with running a lot of businesses. It's just the stress of being a self-employed, a sole proprietor. These are just normal stresses for being a business owner. To me, the pros far outweigh the cons, and I wouldn't trade it. I don't even want to dare to think how much money some office job would have to offer me to be able to quit working in my own business to go sit behind a desk. Now, if that's what you do and that's what you're good at, then that's fine. But for me, and for people that are wired like me, that like to stay busy, like to be outdoors, you know, having your own business, be able to build a successful lawn care business is really something that I enjoy and get a lot of fulfillment out of. Also like helping other people do the same thing and hearing success stories from you guys. So let me hear from you. Can you relate to the challenges I've put out here? And help us out in the comments. What have I left off? What are some of the other challenges, that things that you feel like people who are looking to get in lawn care business might not be aware of, that they're going to be facing? But again, to me, you can make adjustments once you jump into the game. Let me hear from you in the comments section. Look forward to talking to you guys later. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell beside the subscribe button so you'll be notified of new content. Check out the new t-shirts. I might put some more information out about these soon. Lawn Care Life t-shirts. Look forward to talking to you soon. Another thing, you can check out the Lawn Care Life conference coming up in November, presented by Jobber. You can go to lawncarelife.com. Link in the description below. Thanks a lot.